Every man can enjoy attention, flirtation, or even temporary connections, but when it comes to true commitment, when it comes to a bond that lasts beyond challenges, temptations, and time, there's only one type of partner he will choose. This isn't about appearance, wealth, or charm. It's about a deeper quality, one that makes a man feel like he's finally home. Today, we uncover the rare type of partner men make lifelong bonds with. When a man is searching for something beyond temporary attraction, the first thing he instinctively seeks is emotional stability. It may not be what he tells his friends, it may not even be what he openly admits to himself, but deep within, he knows that peace of mind is priceless. Men live in a world of constant pressure, work demands, financial stress, personal battles, and unspoken expectations. Every day he fights his own wars. When he comes home to a partner who adds more chaos, more drama, more suspicion, it feels like he is stepping into another battlefield rather than a sanctuary. And no man can survive fighting both the world outside and the world inside his own home. What makes a woman unforgettable is not how loud she can be, not how much she can demand, but how much peace she can create. That sense of calm is not weakness, it is power, because it allows him to recharge, to breathe, to drop his guard. A man may be attracted to beauty, charm, or excitement, but excitement fades quickly if it comes with instability. When emotions swing like storms, when words are weapons, when everything becomes a scene, his heart grows tired. What bonds him for life is not someone who tests his patience every day, but someone who can regulate her emotions, who knows when to speak and when to stay silent, who understands that peace is the foundation of love. Men respect women who can handle challenges without losing control, who can face disagreements without turning them into destruction. That stability makes him feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally, and safety is the soil where lifelong commitment grows. It is important to understand that emotional stability does not mean silence or suppression. It doesn't mean she accepts disrespect or hides her feelings. It means she expresses herself in a way that builds rather than breaks, a way that seeks solutions rather than explosions. She knows that yelling, accusing, and playing games don't solve anything. They only push love away. Instead, she creates an environment where he feels understood and where both can grow together. When a man finds this type of stability, he doesn't just admire it, he clings to it. Because in a world filled with noise, the one who gives him peace becomes the one he cannot let go of. That is the partner he bonds with, not for a moment, but for a lifetime. Loyalty is the silent test every man sets without even realizing it. He doesn't always ask for it directly, but he feels it in the way a partner shows up when life gets difficult. Anyone can stand beside him when the skies are clear, when money is flowing, when opportunities are abundant. But when storms come, when failures cut deep, when the world seems to turn its back on him, that is when he truly sees who is real. A man may forget many things, but he never forgets who stood by his side when he had nothing, when he was doubted, or when he was at his lowest. That memory burns into his soul, and it becomes the unshakable foundation of a lifelong bond. True loyalty is not about blind obedience or sacrificing one's own dignity. It is about consistency, about not disappearing when things get hard. It is about believing in him when he stops believing in himself. A loyal partner becomes the mirror that reflects his strength back to him even when he feels weak. She doesn't join the crowd when the crowd turns against him. She doesn't switch her words based on convenience. She stays grounded in her choice, proving with actions, not just promises, that she is not temporary. This kind of loyalty doesn't mean she agrees with everything he does. Sometimes it means challenging him, calling out his mistakes, but doing it from a place of love, not judgment. It means that even when she disagrees, she doesn't withdraw her support or use it as a weapon. A loyal partner can disagree without disconnecting. And that balance makes her irreplaceable. Men may enjoy short-lived attention, but they do not bond for life with those who disappear at the first sign of difficulty. Their deepest commitment forms when they meet someone who sees beyond their present struggles and believes in the man they can become. Loyalty in those critical moments doesn't just strengthen love. It creates trust, and trust is the glue that binds two lives forever. A man may not always say it, but when he finds someone who remains steadfast, who doesn't fold under pressure, he treasures her above all else, because he knows the world can betray him, friends can vanish, and opportunities can collapse. But if she stays, then he has found the one bond worth protecting for life. There is a certain kind of energy that men cannot resist, not because it demands attention, but because it awakens something deep inside them. It is the kind of feminine energy that doesn't try to overpower or control, but instead inspires. A man can feel it the moment he's around it, calm yet powerful, soft yet strong. This energy makes him want to rise higher, to push himself further, to become the best version of who he is. It doesn't need to shout, it doesn't need to compete, it simply radiates. And in that quiet radiance, a man feels alive in ways he cannot explain. So many relationships break down because the energy turns into a battle of egos. When both people are trying to dominate, when both are fighting for control, love gets lost in the struggle. But when a woman understands the power of her feminine presence, she doesn't fight him, she fuels him. She doesn't need to tell him what to do. Her support, her encouragement, her belief in him does more than any criticism ever could. With her, he feels stronger, not weaker. With her, he feels capable of conquering the world, not drained by it. This doesn't mean she becomes passive or voiceless. True feminine energy is not about submission, it's about alignment. It is the ability to nurture without losing strength, to influence without force, to guide without manipulation. A man bonds for life with the partner who knows how to stand in her feminine essence because it balances him. It brings harmony to the relationship, making him feel like he is not in competition at home, but in partnership. Men are naturally drawn to inspiration. They can find attraction anywhere, but inspiration is rare. And when they find someone whose presence motivates them, whose energy makes them feel like building rather than escaping, they don't let go. That type of partner becomes the muse, the quiet force behind his greatest achievements. He may never openly say it, but deep down he knows she is the reason he keeps going when everything else tells him to quit. When a man encounters this energy, he doesn't just enjoy it, he bonds with it. Because beauty may fade, charm may lose its novelty, but the power of inspiration lasts forever. That is the type of partner he chooses, not just for the moment, but for a lifetime. Every man carries within him a mission, a sense of purpose that drives his choices, his sacrifices, and even his identity. It may be his career, his ambition, his craft, or a vision he's been building quietly for years. This purpose is not just something he does. It is a reflection of who he is. And when a man meets a partner who respects that purpose, who understands that it is a part of his soul, he feels an unshakable bond forming. The opposite is also true. When a partner tries to compete with it, diminish it, or distract him from it, he begins to feel suffocated and misunderstood. Respecting his purpose doesn't mean ignoring her own dreams. It means giving space for both visions to coexist without one crushing the other. A man's sense of purpose is the core of his masculinity. He wakes up with it, he goes to sleep thinking about it, and even when he fails, it calls him back again. A partner who encourages him, who acknowledges the weight of his struggles, and who celebrates his victories, even the small ones, becomes someone he deeply values. She doesn't mock his ambitions when they seem out of reach. She doesn't belittle his progress when it's slow. Instead, she recognizes the effort behind it. That respect becomes fuel for him to push harder, not because she demands it, but because her belief gives him strength. It's easy for anyone to stand by when success is visible, but real respect shows up in the unseen moments, when he's working late nights, when he's doubting himself, when the results don't yet match the vision. A partner who sees the man behind the struggle and honors his journey rather than rushing it becomes irreplaceable. She makes him feel that his purpose is safe in her presence, not constantly under attack. This doesn't mean losing herself in his mission. It means creating a balance where she has her own path but still supports his. Men don't want a rival in their purpose. They want an ally. They want someone who respects that their drive is not a rejection of love, but an extension of it, because everything they build is ultimately meant to protect and provide for those they care about. When a man finds a partner who respects his purpose, who doesn't compete with it but honors it, he feels that rare connection that goes beyond attraction. It becomes a bond where he knows he can share his dreams without fear, where he can pursue his mission without guilt, and where love and purpose can exist together. That bond, once formed, is nearly impossible to break. A lifelong bond cannot grow in a space where one person is completely dependent and the other is completely responsible. What men truly value is balance, the harmony between independence and togetherness. A man feels most connected to a partner who can stand on her own 2 feet, who has her own vision, her own strength, and her own life, but who still chooses to share that life with him. This kind of balance removes the fear of suffocation because he knows she isn't clinging out of neediness, she is staying out of genuine love. At the same time, it reassures him that she values the bond enough to make space for us without losing herself. Where many relationships fail because the scale tips too far in one direction. If she is too dependent, he begins to feel trapped, as though he is carrying the weight of 2 lives instead of one. He may stay for a while, but deep down he knows this bond is built on pressure, not choice. On the other hand, if she is too distant, too focused on her independence without leaving room for closeness, he begins to feel unwanted, as though his presence doesn't matter. Both extremes weaken connection. What keeps the bond alive is the middle ground, where she is capable of standing strong alone, but still sees the beauty in building together. Men admire women who can make decisions, pursue their passions, and carry themselves with confidence. That independence commands respect. But men also bond deeply with women who know the value of softness, who can lean in, who can share vulnerable moments without fear. It's this duality, strength and softness, that makes a man feel like he's found something rare. It shows him that he is not needed to complete her, but he is wanted to complement her. This balance creates a different kind of intimacy. Conversations flow more naturally, support feels mutual, and the relationship grows without one draining the other. Togetherness doesn't feel like a cage. It feels like freedom with companionship. Independence doesn't feel like distance. It feels like confidence with love. A man bonds for life with the partner who embodies this balance because she gives him both peace and excitement, both stability and growth. He knows that she doesn't need him, she chooses him, and that choice repeated every day becomes the strongest foundation of all. Authenticity is the final thread that holds everything together, because no matter how much attraction, loyalty, or balance exists, nothing lasts if it is built on pretense. Men may be drawn to the performance of perfection at first, the carefully chosen words, the image of flawlessness, the mask people wear to impress. But over time, the act grows heavy, and what he truly craves is the raw, unfiltered truth of who someone really is. A man bonds for life when he knows that the person he loves is not pretending, not hiding, not playing games. That kind of transparency builds a level of trust that is impossible to replace. Games may create excitement in the beginning, but they slowly erode security. When words don't match actions, when affection feels conditional, when honesty is missing, the connection becomes fragile. A man doesn't want to constantly decode hidden meanings or question whether love is genuine. He wants to know that what he sees is what he gets, that the smiles are real, that the affection is not strategy, that the commitment is not temporary. Authenticity removes doubt, and without doubt, love has room to grow freely. Being authentic doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real. It's the courage to admit mistakes, the willingness to show vulnerabilities, the ability to be soft without fear of judgment. Many think men only admire strength, but the truth is They bond deeply when they witness honesty. When she can say, "This is who I am, my flaws, my dreams, my insecurities, and my strengths," it makes him feel safe to do the same. And in that exchange of truth, a bond stronger than attraction is born. What makes authenticity powerful is that it cannot be faked. Over time, a mask always slips. Pretending to be someone else to win love may work temporarily, but eventually the truth surfaces. The partner who dares to be herself from the beginning, who loves openly without disguise, becomes unforgettable. She gives him certainty in a world full of uncertainty. When a man finds authenticity, he finds peace. He no longer has to wonder who she really is. He no longer has to guard himself against deception. He can relax, he can trust, he can give fully. And once a man feels that kind of freedom in love, he doesn't just stay. He bonds for life.